Welcome back to Cosmeholics Anonymous. I am your favorite new mama bougie vintage, and today's video is a love and hip hop video. Welcome back, bitch. I am just gonna jump right on into this episode because it's late and I'm gonna be uploading this late because life's busy, you know, I had things to do. But I'm here now and that's all that matters. So the episode started with Jasmine in confessional. She was basically saying how it was humiliating to have Rashida read her rights, okay? In front of everybody, but she knows that it was necessary. She was saying that at the end of the day, her main goal here is to have Cannon's family, people on Kirk's side, a part of Cannon's life, and that's the only reason that she's been going so hard to reach out to Rashida. So Just Brittany shows up at the hotel that Tiara and Jasmine are staying at, and she basically is coming to, I guess, see what happened once she left and get the lowdown on the pop-up situation. Just Brittany does say that she is team Jasmine in this whole situation, even though she's not really here for people that sleep with married men and such, but she's still team Jasmine because she's spoken to Jasmine and she's gotten to know Jasmine as a person, I guess. I'm not team Jasmine, team Rashida, or team Kirk. I'm not a fan of any of them, but you guys know where I stand in this whole situation between the three of them. I think that Jasmine is taking so much heat and Kirk is not taking enough heat, and my last video was titled I Blame Rashida, so y'all already know what time it is. So Jasmine is trying to give Just Brittany the lowdown on what happened with the whole event, and she's trying to tell Just Brittany what Rashida was saying to her. And so she goes to paraphrase, I guess, or summarize what Rashida was saying to her. And while she's trying to talk, Tiara is like really trying to like interrupt and like not steal the spotlight, but she's trying to tell Just Brittany Jasmine's story. This is not Tiara's story to tell. I mean, you don't have a storyline, boo. So you just sit on the sidelines and let this girl tell the story how she wants to tell it. Because Jasmine was kind of sugarcoating what Rashida said to her, but the main message was getting across to Just Brittany. And so Tiara was trying to let Just Brittany know that Rashida actually said that Jasmine was a fucked up individual, not the term that Jasmine was trying to say she used. And so she just kept trying to interrupt Jasmine, and I was just like, shut up, just let the girl tell it how she wants to tell it. She just let her tell her story, okay? It has nothing to do with you. You weren't there. Well, she was there, but you know, Rashida wasn't talking to her, she was talking to Jasmine. If Jasmine wants to say Rashida told her she's as beautiful as a damn unicorn, then let her tell that the way she wants to tell it, you know? So the next scene, Rashida and the gang are loading up the buses, two buses, to head over to the Dude Ranch. Of course, Rashida is getting her Morgan Freeman on and she's recapping what happened the night before at her grand opening with Jasmine and such. So we get on one of the buses and Carly Red is on that bus and she's just like, oh my gosh, Sean's on this bus, this is gonna be so boring. Like, she's doing the most. Sean is sitting there minding his business. Like, I don't know why she's picking on Sean. She's doing the absolute most. Whenever Carly gets out of a relationship with somebody, she's so petty. It's childish. Carly Rae, you 60 years old. Get your life, please. So, of course, Sean tells her not to play herself because this is about to be a 4-hour bus ride. So, of course, they start to get on talking about how they're excited to ride horses and stuff. And Tokyo starts saying how she is not about to ride no horse because that is animal cruelty. That horse would not survive with her on it. Like, I just could not even deal. I was like, it's what it is. At least you be knowing, okay? Because some people will actually get on a horse even though they weigh just as much as a horse, or so, like, can a horse put another horse on its back, you know? Like, no. So I was actually glad that she was saying she wasn't gonna ride the horse. So that's on the other bus, and then we go back to the other bus that Carly Red is on, and Carly Red is taunting Sean and doing the absolute most, and she's actually making people on the bus really uncomfortable. She's taunting him, she's calling him boring, and at this point Sean is like, I'm about to speak up, honey. He does us all a favor and he puts Miss Carly Red in her place and then tells her to STFU, okay? And I was like, you better, Mr. Garrett, okay? You better tell. At this point, Erica's looking like this is really awkward. Like, her face was just reading all kinds of awkward it was like she was super uncomfortable because Carly Red was doing the most. And to have a man kind of class you and tell you to shut the F up in front of all these people because you're doing the most and you're trying to show off and trying to make him, you're trying to punk him and make him look stupid, he gonna turn around and make you look stupid. It's just uncomfortable for everybody. Like, Carly Red was just doing a lot. While they were driving to the ranch, which was supposed to be 4 hours away, the bus ended up like blowing out an axle or some shit like this, and so they actually had to pull off and wait for another bus to come, and that literally took them hours. And so the trip was only supposed to take 4 hours to get to the dude ranch. It ended up taking 8, so they didn't arrive until nighttime. So wherever they were, they did not have any cell phone reception. They had no contact to the outside world. I don't know if they had Wi-Fi or not, but they were in the middle of buttfuck Idaho, okay, even though they was in Texas. There's like all these envelopes on the table, and I guess they kind of had keys in them for each room. And so Kirk was basically explaining to them the way that this trip is kind of like you have to figure out which room is yours. So I guess they kind of just gave everybody a set of keys, and they had to go match the key with the door. Like, I don't know, it was weird because I thought it was gonna be like a scavenger hunt where they're like, they don't get the keys yet, they have to go there and everywhere to find the key for their specific room. But it wasn't like that at all. I don't know what they was trying, and it didn't work out. Okay, nobody was impressed with their room. The shits was looking all kinds of trading spaces, or trading, is it trade? Yeah, trading spaces. If you guys remember back in the day when Frank would decorate houses, I would always just be like, what? If I was ever on the show and they told me that Frank was going to decorate my house, we would have serious problems. So that's what the house was looking like. It looked like Frank decorated every room in that house, and it was a hot ass mess. So fast forward, Kirk and Rashida slept in the same room, but they slept in separate beds, okay? And of course, Rashida was on the small bunk bed, and Kirk was on the big ass bed. I was like, nah, y'all slept in the same damn bed. Don't try to play us. Don't try it. So of course, Rashida is talking to Kirk in the morning, and she's talking about Miss Pop-Up and all that's transpired between them, and she has a lot to say about Miss Jasmine and the whole situation. She even goes as far as to call her a stalker. And you know what? She kind of is a little stalkerish. She did do quite a few pop-ups, but that's the storyline, and we know that's the storyline. So of course Kirk tells her how she handled it really well, and then he goes to say, because you know what, we would not even be in the situation if it wasn't for me. And I was like, wow, okay, Mr. Kirk, it's about time you take some ownership for your actions and stuff. It's about damn time. But here's where the shit went left, because when he said this, I was expecting them to continue speaking, to have more conversation based on putting the blame on Kirk, because let's be real here, he's the one that took the vows at the end of the altar to Miss Rashida. When he said this, Rashida interrupts him or kind of cuts him off and says, yeah, well, I don't really want to talk about that anymore. Let's go get some breakfast. I want some eggs. Like, girl, what? And so I said, this bitch, first of all, Shooter was watching it with me, and he's like, she's delusional. And I'm like, yes, like, why are you not allowing your husband that cheated on you to take the blame? What is that about? He is saying right here and now that he's the one that messed up, and you are still trying to put the blame solely on Jasmine. Because she's trying to say she's effed up, she caused a lot of damage to their family, and blah, blah, blah. So what did Kirk do in the situation then? Nothing? Jasmine fucks herself? Like, I'm so confused. I could not believe that she was trying to, like, brush him off and tell him, we don't need to talk about this anymore, because he was ready to take the blame for his actions. And at this point, I said, Rashida's crazy. Like, Rashida's real life crazy, and she's real life in denial, and I just can't. Like, I think I was actually physically and emotionally, I was very angry when this scene happened and Rashida said that, because I'm just like, you are just showing your ass even more. Like, you are setting a horrible example to anybody that looks up to you. I know I don't, but I'm sure there's people out here that look up to Rashida, and instead of letting these men that dog women out take the blame for their actions. We're gonna brush them off and not let them take that fall. We're gonna brush them off and basically make them think it's okay. This is exactly why he's gonna continue to cheat on her. I don't care what he says. It might not be tomorrow or the next day, but a couple years from now, Kirk is gonna be back up to his old dirty ass shenanigans, okay? And maybe then the next bitch will get pregnant with twins, and then we'll really see what Rashida's about to do. So in the next scene, it is horseback riding time, honey. Because Jock used to live in a cabin in the forest with llamas and shit, Jock is fitting in just fine, okay? He has no problems adapting to the wilderness. So Sierra is with Tokyo by some little donkeys, and Tokyo's like, oh hey Tobias. I was like, I can't even deal. She was legit calling the donkey Tobias. She said, hi Tobias, bye Tobias, and she was having a good old time with the donkey. And then Carly Red came, and Sierra in confessional was saying how Carly Red is acting a little funny, and she thinks that it might be because of the whole Tokyo situation, but she's gonna see what happens. Sierra actually said she wants them to mend their friendship because she doesn't like the tension that is built up right now. So of course Tokyo is just observing everybody's, you know, behavior and stuff. She says in confessional that Carly is fake and phony because just last week, maybe even yesterday, Carly Red was hating Jock, and now she's acting like she wants to roll around in the hay with Jock. And Sean Garrett's obviously right there, and so Tokyo's not feeling Carly at all. So in confessional, Spice says that so far on the trip, her and Tokyo have been able to keep their distance, but now that they're all together at the ranch, they're going to be a lot more up close and personal. So she's kind of like trying to see where things are going to go and which direction things are headed, because they haven't really had to interact up until this point. So they arrive at wherever they are supposed to arrive at for lunch or whatever, and Pistol Packing Paula is there towing her little gun, doing gun tricks. I said, this is the real shooter, honey. This is the real BB gun. Where BB gun at? Like, BB gun wasn't invited, obviously, but Paula, Pistol Packing Paula was doing the most with her little gun, okay? Jock, by the way, this episode was so funny. Every single confessional, it was hilarious. Every single one. So they sit down to eat, and Spice congratulates Rashida on her grand opening. And so she's telling her how, I guess, how proud of her she is and how it was a really nice grand opening. Then Tokyo decides to tell Rashida, or apologize to Rashida again for missing it, but she said that she had a mishap. I think she said mishap. So Spice says, a mishap? And right when Spice said that to Tokyo, the air got thick. Okay? Thick. The air was mad thick. In confessional, Spice actually says that the reason that her and Tokyo are in a problems now, which means basically they have issues, is because Carly was already telling her that Tokyo was talking all kinds of shit about her. And I done told you this. And so I need to touch on something, because there was a lot of banter in my comments last week because of the whole Tokyo and Spice thing, and people are taking sides and doing the most. I think both ladies had their section where they were wrong, but what people fail to realize, and maybe not everybody realizes or knows this about reality TV, is that when you're filming a confessional, you're filming that confessional way after the shits happen. That's number one. So you're talking about things that happened in the past, but you're speaking about them like they happened today. Okay, so you're speaking about them like it's present, but they happened already. Okay, they happened when you film. And that is why when you're in confessional, your outfit and your makeup is always the same. They might do 2 or 3 confessional recordings so that you can switch your makeup, but when they're doing confessional, you're shooting for a long time, and they're asking you, the producers ask you questions about that event or about that topic, and you have to answer it like it happened right now today. And so that is actually why when Spice started talking shit in her confessional, and when Tokyo started talking shit in her confessional, it was because it already happened, and she already knew the stuff that Tokyo had said, and Tokyo already knew the stuff that she had said because Carly Red had brought that information. And so if you already know that, that's why you're gonna have an attitude before we at home even see the mess transpire. So I know I just said a lot, but you guys have to keep that in mind, that this is happening way before. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's basically like bringing things back up. It's just like when you tell a story time, you're telling it as if you're telling it in the same mind state that you were when you were 16 or 18 or whenever it happened. So that's basically what's happening in the confessional scenes. That's actually why they were throwing shade before they were even on screen with each other, before we even saw it unfold, because she knew about the stuff beforehand. So of course, when Spice talks about this in confessional, VH1 pulls the clip back, because VH1's messy. They pull the clip back and they basically play Tokyo calling her paprika and saying F her and blah blah blah. Back at the ranch, when Spice says a mishap, Tokyo responds to her and says, "You were being disrespectful." And so Spice says that she wasn't being disrespectful. And I was like, we watching the same show here, sis? Like, what do you mean you weren't being disrespectful? You were calling the girl all kinds of fat. You were saying literally everything to call her fat except for that she was actually fat. You even called her a cow and a big ass octopus, child. So she was really referring to her as Ursula from Little Mermaid. So I don't understand why she's saying she wasn't being disrespectful. She was. So I think she forgot, okay? I think she forgot she was being rude, and the only reason Tokyo threw that purse was because Spice was throwing jabs at her. But Spice was only throwing jabs at her because Carly Red told Spice that Tokyo was talking shit about her and saying F her and all kinds. I think there's a big cultural difference here, because depending on where you're from, just because you talk a certain way doesn't mean everybody's gonna receive it the same way that people would where you're from. It's the same way that Spice is calling her fat and people from Jamaica wouldn't take offense to it, whereas Tokyo saying fuck you or fuck her and she's taking offense to that. They're both coming from two culturally different backgrounds, and I think that's really where this miscommunication is coming from and this drama between them, other than Dutty Tobias, but that's neither here nor there. So of course Spice tries to say to Tokyo, you were the rude one throwing your purse, and Tokyo said, I threw it because you were being disrespectful. She was really trying to let her know, like, what you said basically hurt my feelings, and that's why I threw my purse at you, because I was mad. And then Tokyo tries to tell her, look, I tried to tell you I have no issue with you. And so Spice says, you have no issue with me in front of my face. And I was like, she might have a point here. And because a lot of people are like that though. It's true. You might have, that's what I was saying to you guys in the last thing. She didn't have the same energy that she was putting forward, because when she was with Carly Red and she was saying those things and everybody's saying like she didn't mean it that way and stuff, that's beyond the point. It's not about what she meant by it. It's the fact that just because you say something a certain way doesn't mean that's the same way somebody's gonna take it. So it doesn't matter if she didn't mean it that way. How it was received is what matters. And because it came from a third party, because it came from Carly, that's kind of where they kind of drew the line in the sand, because she felt disrespected, and so she felt like she had to violate her as well. That's why Spice is like, you don't have a problem with me in front of my face. And then she does what I've been waiting for everybody to do since I've been watching the show. She calls out Carly and she says, first of all, Carly told me this, that, and the third. And so Tokyo tries to explain, this is how I talk, this is what I say, and you know, if you don't like it, that's basically too bad. But when Spice called out Carly Red, her face was like, uh-oh, like I'm about to be in trouble. But she was still scarfing down her food, and Erica's face was priceless in this moment too. So in confessional, Sierra actually starts to talk about how she's been wondering why Spice had such animosity towards Tokyo to begin with without even ever meeting her. And it's because Carly Red has been taking their conversation and running back and telling her what she's not supposed to be telling her. So then at this point, Spice starts calling out Sierra for being a hypocrite. In confessional, she starts saying that after the whole incident happened, Sierra had called her and told her out of her own mouth that Tokyo was wrong for throwing the purse at her, but then now she's sitting there and kikiing. So of course the two women are arguing. Rashida's running back and forth saying, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do this. And she's not getting anything done. They're not paying attention to her. They don't give a damn about what she has to say. Irrelevance, okay? Irrelevance. Nobody's trying to listen to Rashida. And Carly is over there stuffing her face like she's not the cause of the issues here. Like, she is literally the center of the problems. And so they just need to detonate Carly, because I don't understand why everybody is always getting in problems because Carly Red said. When are y'all gonna stop listening to Carly Red? All y'all dumb. You're dumb. So of course Young Jock ain't trying to get knocked out. He pieces the hell out. He moves out the way. He's out of here. Confessional hilarious. Tokyo starts directing her conversation to somebody else. I think it was BK or somebody. I don't know who it was. And she was like, I told her I don't have a problem with her, but the bitch keep. And when she said this, Spice obviously is gonna get pissed. Spice is like, bitch. Spice is like, who you got, bitch? So before Tokyo could even finish this sentence, Spice was like, bitch. And she picks up her plate of salad or whatever the hell she was eating, and she whips it at Tokyo, and it lands smack dab in her face. And of course Tokyo is going to be pissed at this point. At this point, security is intercepting the whole entire thing, and obviously they're not going to let a fight break out between these two women. So at this point, Spice is yelling. Security is escorting Spice to the production van. They're trying to get her the hell out of here. Tokyo is tackled on the floor by security and production, and she's like, let me go, let me go, I'm gonna kill the bitch, I'm gonna kill the bitch. All kinds. Like, she's genuinely pissed. I mean, I'd be pissed too if I had a salad thrown in my face, honey. I don't want my salad tossed, bitch, and I ain't about to be tossing nobody's salad, okay? So of course BK steps in. He's trying to calm her down. It ain't working. Nobody can calm Tokyo down at this point. She's very, very angry. So Estelita starts coming for Sierra's neck at this point, trying to secure her spot for next season. She's really trying to get hype on Sierra, and she's trying to tell Sierra she's always in the middle of shit and blah, 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 blah. Because obviously Estelita is trying to ride out for Spice, because Estelita thinks that she has a music career, and Estelita thinks that Spice is going to collaborate with her and make music with her. No. No. No, no, no. She's a damn opportunist, and that's the only reason she's trying to ride out for Spice. So of course that almost initiated another fight, or ignited another fight, because Estelita was all up in Sierra's face, getting real ghetto. Of course, security steps in. They're not going to let that fight transpire, and Estelita then gets escorted to the production van that Spice is in. At this point, Kirk is over the situation. He is looking hilarious. He's looking like, why the hell did we bring these people here? Like, this is too much. And then the van ends up pulling off, kind of driving mad slow with Estelita in it and Spice. So while the van is moving or stopped, I don't even know if it was moving or stopped. I don't know what the hell happened. I just know that Spice hopped up out the van, turned her swag on, okay? She had her shirt was unbuttoned, like her titties was jumping everywhere. She was running to get to Tokyo, but she ran right into the arms of production, and Tokyo was being held by production too. Tokyo started yelling. She wanted to beat Spice's ass. This was a hot ass mess, you guys. Honestly, it was too much. It really was. For much. My question is, if you guys are putting people in a van to separate them, why don't you guys have child safety locks on the inside of the vehicle? For the back doors of the van. Like, why wouldn't you guys put on child safety? Why are you guys allowing your cast members to jump up out of the damn van that is moving? Y'all got insurance money for broken ankles or what? Of course, Essential Oils makes her way out of the van as well, and she's like, where that bitch at? Where that bitch at? Where that bitch at? And I'm just like, why is she doing the most? Like, I need to see pay stubs from Love and Hip Hop, because you cannot pay me to act the ass like this. You just couldn't do it. I'm so sorry about it. Mona, don't call me unless it's to host a reunion. I would love to host a reunion, Mona, okay? So at this point, they start panning in on the faces of the people that work in the ranch or at the ranch, and I was dying. I'm like, these white people are like, this shit got to stop. This damn shit. Like, it was ratchet, you guys. I was embarrassed. I'm like, this is why people look at black people crazy, because the shows like these and the things that the people do to keep their spot on the show. Why are you guys doing this in front of these white people? Why are you doing this? They're never gonna let black people back at the damn ranch again because of y'all. What if I want to go to the ranch? Now I can't go because you guys messed it up for me? Like, this is some bullshit. Erica's minding her business for once. The security drags the girls back to the van. This time they're not letting them out their sight. Mimi is a whole ass mood. Matter of fact, I ate a burrito today, so shout out to Mimi. So then more action starts popping off, and I'm like, everybody's trying to secure their spot for next season. The season's about to finish. They're really trying to secure their spot for next season. So Carly starts hyping up on BK and being disrespectful to BK, and I'm just like, okay, alrighty then. And of course, because Carly doesn't want the heat to be on her anymore, you know what she did? She used her father as a crutch. I remember earlier in the season we talked about Carly Red's dad having, I think he's diabetic or he has some health issues, and so she's supposed to be taking care of him and stuff, and she used him as a crutch to get the heat off of her. She's like, I'm dealing with my own stuff right now. My dad, okay? My dad. And I'm just like, girl, bye. See you never. What do you mean your dad? What's your dad have to do with anything? Stop using people as a crutch to get the heat off your ass. You know you effed up and you're going to use your sick dad to get out of it. You're pathetic. Pathetic. So everybody, the turmoil kind of, you know, subsides. It dies down. And Erica, Rashida, and Sierra are off to the side. And Sierra starts spilling tea about how she was trying to squash the beef between the two ladies, and that's why she called Spice to begin with. And she said basically she was going to organize a little pow-pow or a powwow for them to squash their beef. So Rashida and Erica are both like how they want to basically bring the energy back to positive before the night is over. So Jock and Carly are on a walk, and Jock keeps farting. And apparently his fart is smelling real bad and stank, honey, and I can totally relate. Jock says he thinks that everybody needs to just mind their own business, and Carly Red had the audacity, the nerve, the gall to say, that's what I'm trying to say. Carly, you was the main bitch in everybody's business. The people that are here, the people that are not here, how are you gonna say that you agree that everybody should mind their business? You are the last person on earth that is minding their business. You are the cause of the drama. I was just like, this bitch is not for real. Anyway, he proceeds to ask about her father because obviously she was like, my dad. So he asked her about her daddy. So she starts coming with the waterworks. Jock continues to fart. But his farting is kind of lightening the mood because obviously Carly was doing the most and she's bawling her eyes out. She says that she wants Jock to meet her dad. Like, she's trying to get back into some sort of weird situationship with Jock now. And I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm just like, Jock, don't fall for this lady's foolishness. And so she's trying to say like she likes to make Jock feel awkward because then he'll want her more and all kinds. And I'm just like, this bitch is crazy. I just can't with her. Tokyo ends up meeting up with O-Dog, aka Melissa. And I was confused because in confessional, both Tokyo and Melissa kept referring to the whole situation with Spice and saying that Tokyo hit Spice with the purse, but she didn't hit her with the purse. The purse missed Spice. It went over Spice's head because Spice had ducked and it landed in Spice's chair. Spice didn't get bopped in the forehead like Tokyo said, and she didn't get hit across the head with it like Melissa said. So I'm just like, why do they keep trying to push this fake news, honey? She didn't get hit with the purse. She did not get hit with the damn purse. I'm sorry. We want to keep it truthful here, okay? So, of course, they're having a heart-to-heart. Tokyo says she's trying to change and she's trying to be more mature and leave her violent behavior in the past because apparently she used to be really violent and angry, and so she's really trying to change. And we see this in the very beginning. Since Tokyo has joined the cast, we saw her being really mature for her young age, and we can commend her on that. But I think this issue with Spice is really just pushing her a little over the edge because Spice was doing a lot. She feels as though she really let down the girls, the young girls, the old girls, whoever they are that look up to her. She feels like she really let them down, and that's the main reason she's so upset right now. She said that she really does love herself and that she does not mind being fat. I have a friend that's doing like a serious weight loss journey right now, and she looks freaking amazeballs. But we had a conversation similar to the one that Tokyo and Melissa were having just the other day. She, as a person that was overweight, she said to me, she doesn't care what anybody says. When people are as fat as she was, or as big as she was, and they try to say that they don't mind being fat and whatnot, because she used to obviously be that way, she found that she was only saying it because, one, she was looking for an excuse as to being as big as she was, and number two, a lot of the people that she was looking up to went and had surgery and like gastric bypass surgery and stuff, and those same people were also preaching those same things about love the body you're in and rate tay, but then turned around and had surgery to lose the weight because they weren't happy with themselves. And I personally, as somebody that suffers with body dysmorphia, like, it's hard for me to process that somebody could be truly content with being overweight, you know what I mean? Because even 10 pounds overweight, I'm like looking in the mirror like, what the F? But that's because I'm challenged, okay? But seriously, if I was like obese or anything like that, I would be really, really depressed. And so I think it's a front a lot of the time, because when other people do reach out to you and say your confidence is booming, blah, 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 because that's the front you put on, obviously you feel like they make you feel better about yourself, number one, and number two, you have people that are looking up to you, and that always is gonna feel great, you know? And so you kind of feel like you have a reason to stay fat because there's other fat girls out there. But in a sense, you could be motivating those girls to live healthier lifestyles as well, so instead of staying where you are. And so I'm not saying that that's Tokyo. I'm just saying what my friend was telling me, and I totally see it the same way my friend sees it. And this is coming from a girl that was super plus size. And so I think you can still love yourself, but still want to be the best version of yourself. You can't tell me being like overweight to that extent that you're truly happy in your body, because it sucks already. After having a baby, it already sucks just going into stores and trying clothes on that used to be my size that don't fit me anymore, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And I'm just like, what the F? And so I can only imagine shopping being plus size and seeing cute things that I want to wear and can't because they either don't make it in my size or I'm gonna look crazy in it, you know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, Tokyo was then making comments about arguing with Spice and saying that she starts with her rah-rah African. And when she said this, I said, girl, you damn well know Spice is Jamaican. Spice is not African. And I was just like, this is so ignorant. Like, I just couldn't even freaking deal. I'm like, it's patois. It's broken English. It is not rah-rah African. What is rah-rah African? I just could not. Anyway, so Mel just said that she's organizing a sit down with Rashida, and that obviously Spice was going to be there as well. So let's not forget that Carly Red is the reason everybody's mad in the first place. So Spice comes, Tokyo comes, and they're on two different picnic table benches, and Rashida is standing in the middle of them, and Rashida basically tells them, I'm gonna let y'all talk, I'm gonna peace out, I feel like you guys need to have this conversation without anybody present, so I'm gonna leave. She leaves, and Spice opens the dialogue. Spice tells Tokyo, the reason I was acting the way I was acting was because Carly Red came to me and she told me that you had said fuck Spice. Tokyo says, I'll tell you exactly what I said, and she tells her exactly what she said minus the paprika part. I said, if you was a real bitch, you would have told her, hey, paprika, salt, and pepper. You know, you would have told her that you said that too. But she was like, I said fuck Carly, fuck Tobias, and fuck Spice. That's what she said. She told her. That's what she said. She said to Carly. But then she also said, nonetheless, men are always going to be men. And she doesn't know Spice to have an issue with her. So this is what she's telling Spice at the table. Spice says, "You came to brunch and threw a purse at me." I said, "Spice, why are you leaving out the fact that you was calling this girl fat?" And this is where the cultural thing comes into play. In Jamaica, when people greet you, even though, okay, Spice was being malicious towards Tokyo when she was saying what she was saying, how she doesn't want to eat anything else, right? She was being malicious. However, in Jamaica, when people are calling you fat, it is what it is. Like, we're not so sensitive that way. Like, my aunt will literally tell me I'm fat. Like, everybody will tell you you're fat. Even if you're skinny, you're still fat. If you gain 1 pound and you look a little different, your face is a little rounder, if you put on a little weight, they'll be like, "So you put on weight?" Like, they'll just talk to you and ask you about your freaking weight before they even say hello, hi, how are you? Like, they will bring up your weight is what they do. However, because she's not talking to her family or her friends from Jamaica, she has to understand that what is acceptable in Jamaica is not acceptable in America, and Tokyo needs to do the same. She needs to accept that what's acceptable in America is not acceptable in Jamaica. If you're in Jamaica and somebody says "fuck you," that's rude. Where Tokyo's coming from, that's how she talks. That's what she's saying. Same with Spice. Spice is saying that that's how she talks. Either way, the cultural differences here really played a role into really causing a rift between these two women that didn't even know each other to begin with. So Tokyo turns around and tells her, "The reason that the reason I threw my purse at you is because you were throwing little jabs at me, and you kept jabbing," because she was doing it. She kept doing it. She was. And it's just like, you poke a sleeping bear, the bear gonna wake up and maul that ass. And that's exactly what happened. So Tokyo is trying to tell something to Spice, and it sounded like she said bitch, but she said butt. Spice wasn't sure what Tokyo said, and so she said bitch or butt. Did you say bitch or butt? Because oh my god, again. And so she interrupts Tokyo to get clarification on what was said. They both get confused, and neither one of them can understand what the other is saying, and this conversation was almost about to go left, but Spice decided that she's not going to let it go left. The thing is, they both have strong accents. She has a strong New Orleans accent, and Spice has a strong Jamaican accent. So it's easy for wires to get crossed. At the end of the day, though, Spice and Tokyo both agreed to not be disrespectful towards each other, and everything would be fine. Their whole thing was just basically trying to get through the trip and enjoying the rest of the trip. So Spice was like, "Look, I'm just trying to enjoy my time here, blah, blah, blah. So let's just be cordial, I guess." She said, "As long as you don't call me bitch, we're good." And so Tokyo was like, "Well, that's just how I talk, so blah, blah, blah." But at the end of the day, they came to some sort of understanding where they're not going to disrespect each other. And if you didn't see, if you don't have Instagram or something, that last week when the episode aired, Spice posted a picture of both her and Tokyo to basically say, like, this is what has been said already. We've already apologized to each other, and it's been sealed. We are Gucci. We don't have any problems anymore. So after they squash their nonsense, everybody comes to the bonfire, and Rashida tries to then mediate another situation, but Estelita and Sierra start popping off at each other, and next week should be another fucking mess. I don't even know. That's basically it. I hope everybody is back to being neutral when it comes to the whole Tokyo Spice drama, because I like both. I mean, when I saw the preview for last week's episode and I saw that Spice said those things about Tokyo, or to Tokyo actually, I'm not gonna lie, I was taken back, because I'm just like, why is she saying these things? But in my mind, I also had it figured that, obviously, because I know how reality TV works and the whole confessional thing that I explained earlier, I figured she's going based off of, because Carly obviously told her something, she wouldn't just be acting that way out of the blue, you know? And obviously, people are forgetting it's a storyline. Yes, it was rude. Yes, it was disrespectful. But it's a part of the storyline. Tobias is in the middle, and he's not even cute. Like, I can't. There is no reason for them to be going this hard over Tobias. So I'm glad both ladies are back on the same page. I hope that everybody can like simmer now and see that these two women have grown and gotten past it, so y'all don't need to be holding on and harboring no ill feelings toward either person, because literally there's the Jamaicans that are sticking up for Spice and then the other people, Tokyo's fans, that are sticking up for her. Like, I just can't. It's always women against women. Like, I don't like it, okay? I don't like it. It's like Nicki and Remy all over again, and then Nicki and Cardi B, and like, can we just like Spice and Tokyo? Okay, we know Spice was wrong for throwing the jab she was throwing, but let's not forget that this is Carly Red's fault, okay? Carly Red obviously delivered the message wrong. Carly Red deserves all the blame and all the hate that you guys are spewing towards each of the ladies. Carly Red knew what tone Tokyo said that in, so for her to take that and go back to Spice with it was her being messy, because she didn't like how Tokyo was speaking to her. She was being petty. If Tokyo never said fuck Carly, like she never said fuck you too to Carly, Carly probably would never have even sent that message back to Spice. I get that Carly and Spice have been friends for a long time, and obviously if Spice watches the show and she sees that Tokyo said that about her, but then Carly didn't come to her, that could have been an issue too. So maybe Carly felt like she was between a rock and a hard place. But at the end of the day, Carly is way too old to be acting this damn messy. And there's no justification for Carly's actions at the end of the day. Like, Carly could have explained what Tokyo meant by that. But for me as a person, I don't care how the fuck you talk. Don't be talking about no fuck you about me, okay? Because it's fuck you too and your feelings. And I think that's where Spice is coming from. You're not gonna say fuck you, fuck her, fuck him, fuck whoever. Then okay, well fuck you too, bitch, and your feelings. And I'm gonna fucking read you for filth. That's just, it is what it is. You can't be the deciding factor of how somebody receives your message. It's just like if you say something through text that you don't have an attitude, but then people perceive it as you having an attitude, then I guess that's on them. But at the end of the day, it was broken telephone, and Carly delivered a message very wrong. So we gonna blame Carly this episode, okay? Rashida's not being blamed for this. Carly Red is being blamed for this. That's basically it. We are definitely Team Tokyo and Team Spice. So let's not make this let's not pin them against each other, because they ain't even mad. So y'all look dumb mad as hell. Anyway, that is it for this week. I love you all, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.